I'm so excited to introduce not all, but many of my family members who have come from across the country, out of the country. So I'm just, if you just want to introduce yourself and, yeah, and how you're connected to me, I guess.
I'm Paul Sarkisian, and sometimes I say Sarkisian so that people will know about how it's spelled. And I'm Shannon's father. I was born and raised in San Jose, and I now live in Cape Cod in Massachusetts, in Falmouth. And I'm on the West Coast, and this sounds like the greatest thing in the world to do. In the booklet, there's some wording about my aunt Eleanor and my cousin Carolyn, her daughter, who came to my house, and we would wrap grape leaves for around Christmas time. It's a pretty good tradition.
Yeah. You wanna go? I'm Lindsay, and I'm lucky enough to be Shannon's sister. I live in San Jose, California with Harley, who's my daughter, Shannon's sister.
I'm Evan Sarkisian, and I am Shannon's brother. I live temporarily in Oslo, Norway, with my son Liam and my wife and my other son, who are around here somewhere. And yeah, I'm excited to be here.
And Mom's participating by watching in the back. She came with us from San Jose.
Not so I'm gonna do things a little weird today because part of how you make sarma is they steam for a while. So we made a batch earlier today that is steaming on this pot. And so hopefully while we are doing this cooking demonstration, you'll get to kind of smell it and just kind of hopefully we'll be able to share this tradition. These little guys, the next generation, I think, have not had this experience of making sarma with the family at Christmas time. So it's like also really, this is such a special thing for us to be able to do because we live so far apart from each other now. And it's been at least a decade since we've been able to do this. And, you know, with Dad, and traditionally Carolyn would be also here, but was not able to come. So it is here in spirit, and I have been sharing sort of our journey of like trying to put this together. So to start with, basically everything goes in a big bowl for the meat mixture. So, and I also wanted to say, there are so many ways to do this that I included multiple recipes from different family members because, you know, there's different ways. Aunt Eleanor's recipe traditionally is baked in the oven. We always did it on stovetop, so it tastes great either way. We don't have an oven here, so in the new building we will. So, but yeah, so let's. We're gonna start with 1.5 pounds of ground meat. A lot of people in our family just use ground beef. I like to do a mixture of ground beef and ground lamb. If you came to the kufta trial by flavor, that's what I did then. I just did ground beef today because there's a lot going on. So I'm gonna let my dad be the like mixer guy because he's got the best feel for when it feels right. And that is an important, I think I've mentioned before that in the family, getting a recipe from someone, it's like our Aunt Patty is like, it's just do it till it feels right. Like you just add tomato sauce till it feels right. I'm like, but I really need like a ballpark so that I have an idea of what we're doing.
Your soul will tell you.
So we, my Aunt Patty likes to use like a really low fat grind, like a 93.7. I like a higher fat, but it's really up to you. So all right, we've got that.
Yeah,
Um,
so there's a pound and a half of ground beef.
Yep. So we also are gonna do half of this can, and I realized that in the recipe, I didn't realize that we make a sauce with the other half of the can, so that's not in there, but we will get to that later. So
Do you need the?
I need the can opener. All right, while we're waiting on that, full onion, chopped, pretty regular. Do you have, it's a half of,
Yeah, it's right here.
okay. Half a cup of flat leaf parsley. You can use curly parsley, it's fine. But,
There's half a cup.
so got half a cup. Handful of basil. Also, kind of do what, feels right, like flavor-wise. In the booklet for my Aunt Patty's recipe, she talks about doing a test version in do a small amount and then cook it in a bell pepper in the oven, and that's a way you can get a feel. So half of this can is gonna go in right now.
Okay, oh, half a can.
And then half a cup of rice.
You have the cup?
We're gonna
I'm gonna use half a cup.
We're not there yet.
Half a cup?
Okay, yeah, half a cup of rice.
But the stuff leaves with so
All right. So,
I used 5 cloves.
okay.
You can't.
Chopped garlic to taste. Aunt Eleanor says 5 to 6. I really like garlic, so we did 5. You do 6. Okay.
We're gonna put a little water, do you put water in this?
Okay. So, we also have spices. So my Aunt Patty, I think just uses salt and pepper. Eleanor has also likes paprika. I have a modified version that I like to do. I like to use Aleppo pepper as well because it's not too spicy, but it gives it a nice little kick. I feel like if you like cumin could be really good in there.
Again, what is your soul?
Yeah,
It needs to be
whatever it
Sarma.
feels right. And I don't remember. I think I don't remember the exact measurement.
Okay, so
Okay, so teaspoon of salt.
that's 1 teaspoon.
Okay, so
1 teaspoon of salt.
Shannon, where would we find the Aleppo peppers in this area?
it was really hard to find. I found it at Whole Foods in Bellingham. Yeah, half teaspoon black pepper.
It's kind of in between.
Okay.
This is gonna help.
And then our lovely Harley is gonna help. It's 1 teaspoon of paprika.
Oh, okay, hang on a second, Harvey. Hold on a second. Oh, we're gonna put 2 of these.
Yeah.
That's a half teaspoon.
Fill
it all the way up.
I tried using smoked paprika one time and I didn't like the flavor. But that's
Okay.
just me. But yeah.
That's all right. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the fun part. This is you're gonna mix everything with your hands. And when we made this batch earlier today, my dad was like, "Oh yeah, this is right. This smells right. This smells right."
It just really smells great. Mix it around, mix it up, so that it's all nice and even. Even next week.
have one of their napkins? Does
Could be.
it hold together or not necessarily hold together?
It's a little, yeah, it's a little sticky.
Yeah, it sort of holds together. You're gonna be making pretty small balls that
Oh,
are
okay,
pieces.
kind of like a
that-
meatloafy texture.
I would say, yeah. It's a little chunkier because of the onions, but
It's like not quite as doesn't stick quite as well as like a meatball.
Right,
Because
okay.
no egg or breadcrumb. It kind of reminds me of almost like kneading bread or something, like you're incorporating, so it's mixing around, but
Yeah.
like,
it's like kneading bread, but this is gluten-free.
yeah.
Making meatloaf.
Do you want to pass the bowl around and let people, if they want to see what it looks like and smell it? No, the big bowl. You want to take that around?
That's kind of rough, like the onions aren't real small and.
Yeah.
You could do
don't have to
smaller.
be-
But
It doesn't have to be really fine.
No.
yeah,
That's good.
it gets nice and soft. When like it's because it's steamed in there. Oh yeah, are there any questions so far? Oh yes,
So the rice was uncooked.
correct.
That's right. I read that like, if you do cook it, it'll be too mushy.
Oh, Evan said if you cook it beforehand, it'll be too mushy.
Starchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the water.
So there's a lot of liquid in the pot.
Oh, great.
There's a lot of liquid in the pot.
Okay.
Before we start adding, like rolling and adding the sarma to the pot, it's good to put a little olive oil in, and then you're also going to line the bottom of the pot with grape leaves, and that helps prevent the sarma from burning. It doesn't have to be a lot, but just like a single layer. And
I'm getting some grape
oh,
juice
okay,
at this time.
Dad's getting some grape leaves. So I'm gonna take a minute to talk about grape leaves and where to get them and like what kind. So we got two different brands. This one was so much better.
What's it called?
This is Mid-East, and so like on the label it says tender and soft. Great for stuffed grape leaves. And I agree with this advertisement.
Where did you get them?
The European grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in there, they have like a pickle section. These, are fine, but, the stems were really big.
Yeah.
And so like, I also made a batch in, around Thanksgiving, and, they just, like, there were a lot of thick stems, and they weren't as tender. So if you were picking up a grapevine, you want to do it early in the season, so these ones are smaller than these, but the end product is a lot easier for chewing. And, but these were great, they were fine. I feel like you would do a lot more, trimming the stems. Like these ones I didn't feel like I had to trim at all, and these ones had a lot of like big long stems that had to be cut. And like there's a lot of steps involved. It's it can be labor intensive, so not having to take that step is helpful to me. Well, you can leave the lid off because we're gonna start.
Get some sarma.
All right. So, does anybody wanna roll a sarma with me and us? Like, we've got grape leaves. Don't feel pressured. You're not obligated to. I will also say we used more than one jar.
But you
Right.
So, I mean, okay. Here's another. Aunt Eleanor's recipe. You roll the sarma in your hand. In your hand.
Alright, everybody
But-
grab a grape leaf.
Almost every recipe, every other recipe I've ever seen, you roll it on the counter or on a, like a cutting board or something. But her recipe, I'm just gonna you want the stem side up, and the, I don't know what that part of this is. The stem pointing towards you.
Right, okay.
So I'm just gonna walk around. You can also do this on the counter if you would prefer, but I kind of like doing it in my home because it feels like I'm doing it at Eleanor's way.
Oh, okay.
But it also might be easier to do on the counter.
Do you have to rinse them or just?
Oh yeah, sorry, you have to rinse them. So, if you're picking fresh off the vine, you need to blanch them before you use them or brine them. If you're using them from the jar, they've already been brined. We rinse them. I mean, I've also done it where I didn't rinse them and it was fine, like nothing happened. So they're probably salt.
Should I put this on
pretty
my
salty.
Yeah, one thing about rolling sarmas in your hand, my Aunt Eleanor can roll a sarma one-handed while on horseback. So.
Okay.
I have one thing to share about grape leaves.
Oh,
You wanna roll it?
yeah.
One thing I found with grape leaves is you want ones that are like, this one is webbed, where there's like no edge cutting down here. So this is a very easy to roll leaf because there's no gaps. Whereas like this one here this one's actually not so bad, but it has a little, it's less webbed, right? Like if you had like webbed toes or something like that, the more webbed it is, the easier it is to roll.
Yeah, this is a harder one.
These ones are quite nice. I've found a lot of good ones so far.
Yeah, like the ratio of like nice, good ones to ones that tear or are like too like woody is kind of almost. Okay, so I'm gonna roll this one even though it's not the ideal leaf, but I'll do another one.
And Harley would like to say something.
Oh yeah.
If any of you want to do it, Sarma, you can come and get
Okay, so, the first thing, like, I would say about when you're gonna roll, you need less than you think for the middle of the stuff.
Yeah, especially your first ones.
Yeah, it's gonna feel like not enough.
I have
Leave that at the
grape
bottom.
leaf.
So it's
And I'll put it right here,
And then start.
and that'll hold it together.
Okay,
Oh, I better fix this
You want to do it again?
one. This one.
I'm gonna do like, the next step is, and this is the piece I left out. I just said add water and squeeze 2 lemons, which honestly is fine, you can totally do that. But the traditional way, the way you're supposed to do it, is to make a sauce with the remaining tomato sauce in the can, lemon juice, and water. So I'm gonna let my dad. Lindsay doing that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let my dad do it because he's got the like feel for it.
I poured the half of this can in, and I'm gonna pour a whole can,
Yeah,
whole can of
whole
water.
can of water. So just,
Yeah.
Put it on here, put it on here.
How many lemons should I squeeze?
I think, okay.
Let's fight about it.
So we had a whole thing about lemons where I was like, you squeeze 2 lemons in the pot. And my dad was like, no, you squeeze 1 lemon in the pot. And what I realized today when we were making them is squeeze 1 lemon into the sauce, mix it up, put it in the pot, and then squeeze another lemon. I don't know why. You could not do that, but 2 lemons. Once you've got your sarma rolled and in the pot,
And then I'm gonna use that knife to kind of.
you're gonna do the sauce. So I'm just gonna. And then, why not? I'm gonna take this around so you can kind of see. It's very thin. It's almost like tomato juice.
Yeah. I guess.
So in Armenian, a dolma is any stuffed vegetable. A sarma is a rolled stuffed vegetable. And some people call them tolma. I don't know why. there are different dialects. I think that's why. And also the Armenian alphabet, it doesn't, the letters are not the same. So I think it's a translation thing. But yeah, so a stuffed rolled cabbage leaf is also the sarma. But a stuffed bell pepper would not be a sarma. But they're both golden. So, okay, we missed a step. We're supposed to have a meatball that is unwrapped that you would put on top so that you could check to see for doneness. There's one in here so we can show you. But that would have been. We got too excited. You got your sauce in there, you got your meatball. Sarmas. Wait for the meatball because we're going to put it on last. So slices of lemon. Just the top layer.
We're gonna put it.
Wait, it goes on last, Heidi. We're gonna put this down. Hey, buddy. Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Fantastic. Those aliens.
That's neat. Oh,
Very nicely done. I like your
Are we in
fan.
space? Nice. Good. Is that okay?
So
Now,
put some red
we
meat
have to
on.
put.
Hold on, let's.
Oh, we cover with grape leaves?
I would do more lemon slices, but
It's not enough lemon
it
slice.
does, it's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
So then,
Can we cover that with more grape leaves?
yeah, more grape leaves on top.
Oh, okay.
That would typically the broken ones. That's what I would use, but we have so many that are in good shape. So, or like small ones.
Yeah.
You
And
want,
then last, almost last, we put a plate on top to kind of weight it down.
Logan, you want to help with the plate on top?
Next one can't.
There you go.
All right. Okay, we're on the meatball.
And we put the meatball on top.
Oh, on top of the plate?
Yeah.
That's just a tester.
All right.
Oh, I see.
You're gonna do a little walk around.
Can I get a picture?
I feel like if you can see it, that it's fine, but if you can't see it, I would put a little more in. It doesn't have to totally be submerged. Okay.
So one thing you always notice is the meat mixture disappears and there's still grape leaves.
Yeah.
Or the grape leaves disappear and you have to make a bigger meatball.
Right.
That's almost impossible to get right.
They're in the pot.
The pot's supposed to cook, it's too high. For like a half hour and rest for 15 minutes. I don't think we have time for that, but we could check to see if the meatball is done.
Yeah. The key is kind of if the rice is done.
Yeah.
You know, if the rice is absorbed.
Do we have a spoon or something?
Oh, here, I can use this
It's
too.
still cooking. I can look at it and see.
Because I'm an expert. So that's pretty much it, but it's still cooking.
So it's the same process to do it on top of the stove as we've done today versus in the oven?
In the oven, it would just be a roasting pan with a lid. So I think the main thing is you want it to be kind of like, you want the seal so it's steaming. Also, I think I forgot to do, I wanted to just do some acknowledgements and thank yous, because this is the first year that we've done this program. I came on board in April to Mount Vernon City Library, so it was already in progress. So I really would like to acknowledge Chef Suzanne Butler, who has done a huge amount in our chef tested recipes. Suzanne is the chef, and she has done a lot of these cooking demonstrations and put a lot of time and energy as a volunteer to make sure the community is getting to have these experiences. And then also Chef Suzanne in the room. And then Elisa Kester, sorry, I hope you don't mind, I'm like pointing you out. Elisa back there is a library associate for public services and has worked for the library for decades. And the booklets that you see, like that's Elisa. She does a huge amount of incredible work. So, you know, we would not have this program without her. And then, of course, Skagit Valley Co-op funded this program through the 4%, I can't remember, 4% Fridays. So, you know, I mean, that's also the community giving as well. So, a lot of thank yous.
Fabulous programs.
I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks for being here. Again, I know it's like the holidays.
And thank you.
Yeah.